Good morning. I'm Caitlin with Wiregrass Daily News, and I'm here with Mr. Travis Parker, who is the founder of Wiregrass Honor Flights, and he's also representative of Sweat4Vets Ruck March.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, try number two.
Try number two. Yeah, yesterday morning we somehow lost power. I think a transformer blew somewhere, but welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came back.
Yeah, special trip just to see y'all.
Perfect. So, what's going on this Saturday?
Okay, we've got the Ruck March. It's called Sweat4Vets, and it's the second one. We did one a year and a half ago, roughly, for Veterans Day, on which is November 11th, and worked out great because we're doing two courses. One is a 5K, which starts at church on Boll Weevil Circle, which is next to the high school there. The 5K actually goes through the parking lot of the high school and back to the church. The other part is the longer one. It's 11.1 miles. If you remember November 11th, 11.1.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 11.1 miles around the circle. So we call that the ruck around the circle.
Yeah.
Part. And that takes, well, the first one takes about maybe an hour. Second one takes, they did it as quick as about 2.5 hours. And
I'll probably do it in 5 or 6.
Yeah. Well, the police chief had said probably going to take 4 to 5 hours. And the last guy that came in was about 3.5, 4 hours. I've forgotten the exact time, but he's about 80 years old. So we gave him a pass on being the last one. So it's open for any ages. And for those not familiar with the Ruck March, which I'd heard the term but never really knew what it was, it's a fairly new thing. I knew what a ruck sack or ruck bag was from when I was in Scouts in the military and the Army. It's a type of pack or bag that you carry your stuff in. Okay. And they actually do backpacks rather than the rucksack that they used to carry. But you put 25 pounds of stuff in there if you're female, 35 if you're male. And what we're asking people to do, so just make this a BOGO, as far as doing one thing but helping something else, is you stuff your pack with either pet food or human food. And at the end of the day, plus a little bit of water for yourself. And at the end of the day, we give those to the SOS shelter or Hand Up Enterprise. So, don't just put junk in there. Put stuff that we can use, repurpose and give to people. So it helps out other organizations as well.
Right.
And we will have, about half a dozen water stops and restroom stops on the way around the circle. We'll have one over even for the short version. So it'll be plenty of, safety factors there. We'll have a rescue squad going around the circle. We'll have police escort around the circle. We'll have a couple people in gaiters that'll be going along with we're going to try to keep it 2 groups of a fast group and a slow group that go around the circle. So to keep the safety factor down with the large group instead of people just strung out.
Right.
So something we learned from the last time, we had people a little bit more strung out than we'd wanted. And so we're trying to keep people together is a safety factor there. And at the starting place, which will be, we'll register at 7:00 on this Saturday morning. And at 7:30, we'll have not a starting pistol. We've got a starting cannon.
Oh,
so
wow.
We're a little different. That way you can hear, even for old people like me. And so we'll start there and go out on the two different tracks. And while people are waiting, say family members are waiting, while say father, mother, whoever is rucking, we'll have different tents, events, things there, a couple of food trucks. Got the National Guards bringing their rock climbing wall, which is cool. I got almost to the top of it one time. I was going, okay, this is how, even though they got the bungee cord thing to, the safety strap there, I was going, okay, this is
high enough.
I'm not going to bounce. I'll brace. So I said, okay, I got within reaching almost to the top, but that is a fun thing to do. So you've got things to do while
some
family
fun
members
stuff to
are
do.
doing. And it's really open to anybody. You don't have to carry a ruck pack if you don't want to. Got a lot of people that just want to get out and have a nice little stroll, so to speak, that morning. I've even had ladies come with the babies and the buggies and
Family
strapped
event.
on. Instead of a ruck, they'll carry the baby, so we have to weigh them. No, we don't.
No. Weigh them, make sure they're 25 pounds.
Okay, yeah, you just don't have to stuck 2 bricks in there with the baby to make it 25 pounds. No, but it's just a fun day for everybody. It's a family day type thing. I think this Piney Woods Festival is going on this weekend. Piney Woods, I believe they postponed it or something was postponed. So it's this weekend, but it starts later in the day. So you can go out, ruck, get hot, sweaty, go home, take a bath, and go to the Piney Woods.
Yeah.
And just have a whole full weekend for the family.
A fun day for the family. So what is the purpose of this march?
Yeah, it's a way to raise money for the Honor Flight. And I'll go into a little more detail on that. But to register for this, it's $25 to register. And you go to the website runsignup.com, and I'll give this to you so you can put it online.
Yeah, sure.
And you find, it says, click find a race and type in 2025 Sweat4Vets Ruck, RUCK March, or on Facebook it's Sweat4Vets Ruck March. So you go there, you can sign up online and get in there. And what we're doing, we're also selling sponsorships for t-shirts, which we've already sold those. But the first ones that signed up for the Ruck March get a t-shirt and has the sponsor's name on the back. But this money goes to the Honor Flight. And for the people that don't know Honor Flight, this is where we fly the veterans, start with World War II, went to Korea, now added Vietnam era veterans to Washington, D.C. for a day to honor them and take them out to see their different respective monuments. So we started at Arlington Cemetery, see the changing of the guards, the Audie Murphy's grave, and a few other things over there. Go across the rivers and go to let's see, we're going to the Naval Monument or Memorial there. Then we'll go to World War II Memorial, then right down the reflective pond, they call it, to see the Korean Memorial, Korean War Memorial, and Vietnam Wall, and Lincoln Memorial, which they're remodeling that right now, but we can still sneak in and see part of it.
Sneak in and see some of it.
Okay. And then we'll probably just do a drive-by for the Air Force. So we don't have any Air Force veterans go this trip. But it's you can see the Air Force Memorial. It's these big 300-foot tall things. It's great.
Yeah.
I didn't know it's that big until I actually got up to see it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I went up with another group just to see how they did it.
Yeah.
And part of the training is we have to go to D.C. in February. A couple of the board members do, and we get training for about 3 days. And then we have to fly with our mentor hub, which ours is from Gary, Indiana. This is their 50th flight. They do about 4 or 5 a year, and they charter a whole plane, which would be our goal for eventually. But it's $125,000 for a plane. So, next time you win the lottery, just, slip me $125,000.
I will
put your name on the back of the shirt that you're sponsoring this flight. But it's really just a great way to get out and for these veterans to reconnect with the past, a little close the circle, I guess you'd say, in some ways, especially the Vietnam guys. We've got 2 Korean, like I said, war veterans that are going, and 5 Vietnam guys, and a lot of the veterans are also the guardians. Each veteran has a guardian that goes with them, and a lot of those guardians are veterans as well, Vietnam veterans, and even some of the staff is veterans. And we also have a television reporter embedded with us, so that'll be extra little exposure there. Yeah. But it's just going to be a good day for us to honor them. And one thing I'm pushing for is on the night of June the 4th, when we come back, we'll go back to the Daleville City Hall or Convention Center. It's right there at the big intersection in Daleville by the helicopter. Be there roughly 9 o'clock. And Vietnam veterans never got a welcome home. So we do a welcome home ceremony, and we're trying to get the public out to see them. They will have one in Birmingham when we land the airplane up there at the airport. A lot of the veterans organizations there are going to meet them there. And then we're trying down here have a really big one of a Wiregrass welcome home.
On June 4th?
Yeah, on June 4th. Yeah, 9 o'clock, June 4th. So we just encourage people to come out, bring flags, posters, welcome home. If nothing else, just come out and have fun, noisemakers, and just really give them something they didn't get 50 years ago. So this is the time for Vietnam veterans to get a welcome home. So like I said, we'll leave on June 3rd, go to Birmingham, spend the night, get up, hit the airport at 5 o'clock next morning, fly up to D.C., see all the different things there, fly back that evening, eat at Sweet Creek Market if you haven't been there. It's in Pike Road, this side of Montgomery. That's almost worth the trip by itself.
Sweet Creek?
Sweet Creek.
Oh, okay.
It's a big farmer's market right before you get to Montgomery.
Okay.
Next time you go by, stop, you see all the critters out there. I mean, seriously, pheasants, chickens, goats, all sorts of stuff there.
I'll have to do that then.
Let's do it. and a farmer's market, plus a restaurant. They got good home cooked food there. So we eat there on the way back and hit Devil, I said, about 9 o'clock at night. So we're talking about raising money for the Honor Flight. So this weekend, we're raising money. The Honor Flight's going to be in June. At the end of June, on June 29th, we're having one of the board members' name is Judy. So we're doing the Judy Jam or Judy Band Jam at Cowboys. We have several bands we playing. It'll be on a Sunday afternoon and evening, and we have the bands playing and raising money for the fall Honor Flight. We're going to take between 1 and 2 dozen, depends on how much money we raise.
Yeah.
Veterans on another flight in the fall, and then each year do 1 or 2 flights. About 1 to 2 dozen veterans twice a year.
So the Ruck March is raising money for this Honor Flight.
This was already paid for. We had to pay up front, so the Ruck March will actually be paying for the one in the fall.
Gotcha.
Along with the June Jam and whatever else we can get out and get people to donate for.
Yeah. Do you already have members who are booked to go on this trip?
Yeah. We've got about 50 to 60 roughly veterans already on the waiting list. I said this time we're taking 7, which is we're trying to get the Korean War up front, and the Vietnam veterans that are in bad health, need to get them while we can.
Right.
And then I actually have one Korean War that won't make this flight. So we're hoping he's well enough to go on the fall flight. We'd love to get him. And if we have, the Korean War veterans sign up, they'll go to the front of the list. Nationally, it's about 50,000 Vietnam veterans still on waiting list, and about 7,000 or 8,000 World War II and Korea veterans on the waiting list with the different hubs. It's about 130 hubs, they call them, around the country.
Mm-hmm.
With Wiregrass to cover the state. Covington County's been doing it for several years. They were more over in the Andalusia area, but they also covered the state for anybody from there. And also, this last flight, they had 1 veteran from Alabama, and the rest, about 18, were from Florida. So we've reached down. We've got a couple of veterans in Florida that signed up and over in the Georgia border. So we're not doing a strict state line. We're catching this area. We're getting any veterans that are eligible. Basically, if you're in from 1941 to 1975, you qualify. Fly.
How many Wiregrass Honor Flights have there been?
Okay, back in 2009 and 10, there were 5 honor flights. They had, I guess, economy is a lot better because they raised enough money to fly 4 charter planes, and then the 5th was a commercial. They ran out of World War II veterans. That's all they were flying at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So they were out of veterans, so they went inactive. I didn't know that when I started this, and we just happened to pick the same name, Wiregrass Honor Flight.
Oh, wow.
And found out some of the old guys, the board members, still would meet over at our diner, our place diner in Ozark.
Mm-hmm.
So I met with them a few times, and it was good because they said up front, "Oh no, we threw away all the paperwork and stuff." But fortunately, some of them like me were pack rats, and they kept some stuff. And they bring me over some different stuff, and this is a list of people they gave, and this is what we did, and the itineraries. We saw how much it cost for the planes back then. So they could do a flight for about 75, 85,000 then. It's 125 now.
Wow.
So, and going up daily. Well, gas prices are going down again. So maybe
it might go down a little bit.
Yeah, 124,995.
Okay.
So, save a few bucks. So, but every little bit helps there.
Yeah.
So we're out raising money it'll just be continuous until we get all the guys that qualify. And eventually, like I said, they start with World War II, then they added Korea, then they had the Vietnam era. And you don't have to have been in combat. Any of these are overseas. If you were in during that time.
Right.
I was in during the Vietnam era, but when I was in basic, they quit sending people over. So I was a medic, so I took care of the guys when they came back. So if you were in from, like I said, 1941 to 1975, whether you served overseas or not, you're qualified to go. And eventually, when we get sort of caught up with those, they'll start adding the newer conflicts.
Yes.
And some hubs, like I know South Florida is already adding some, the ones after the Cold War veterans. So it's, I guess, as you get caught up in the area, like I said, in 2009 and 10, they ran out of World War II veterans.
Right.
They could have kept on and started doing Korean, even though it wasn't officially part of the program, but they just decided, we're going to take a break.
Yeah.
We've done a good job. Let's take a break. And most of the guys that were the Guardians then are Vietnam veterans. So now it's their turn to fly as veterans. So we've got several of the guys that are still around have signed up to go as veterans. So they get honored
Honor,
that.
right.
The guardians are like a chaperone. You help the person around, push the wheelchair if they need it. And a lot of them might start out doing okay, but halfway through the day, you
Need a
walk
little
several
assistance.
miles.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll take my personal Uber,
Yes.
hop in this wheelchair and let them, home,
Yeah.
James. Mush. So, but it's, and for years before I even went on Honor Flight, I talked to a lot of guardians that went. I talked to more guardians actually than veterans, and the guardians said it's one of the best days in their life outside of, marriage, birth of kid, that type stuff. They just got so much out of seeing the veteran enjoy themselves. So that sort of osmosis, symbiotic, whatever you want to call it, they got just a great feeling out of it. And especially, like I said, for the veterans, it's a little bit of closure. A lot of them with the Vietnam Wall, they do the etchings and stuff like that. You'll find their buddies, take roses, flowers, pictures. Even when we brought the Vietnam Wall to the fairgrounds a couple years ago, had flowers and flags and pictures, there. A lot of people, saw their buddies' names and they're just crying. So
and I'm sure it's a way for them to feel honored, especially the Vietnam veterans who weren't really honored whenever they came back. So
so this is a way to give them that little. It's, like I said, delayed 50 years or more, but we're trying to get around to giving them something special.
How can the public get involved?
Okay, you can go to wiregrasshonorflight.com, and online you can sign up as a veteran. You can sign up as a guardian, or you can sign up as a volunteer. Now, the volunteers, some will sort of work behind the scenes, some will go on the flights with us, but we need help raising money. We need help like packing the packs that we'll carry with the food and raincoat and different things in it while we're out on the trip. Just need help getting things set up, publicizing, trying to get friends out for the homecoming. That's a big thing right now, trying to get people out for the homecoming. So I want to have a good welcome there. So if you know any guardians, veterans from 41 to 75, get them to sign up as a veteran, or they can sign up as a guardian, because I've got one guardian. He's a veteran who would qualify to fly as a veteran, but he wants to go as a guardian. He's 80 years old, and he's actually older than the veteran he's flying with.
Wow.
But he's gung-ho.
He said, I'm still on the guardian stage.
Yeah. Okay. Just ask the guardians to be 18 or older and to be able to push a wheelchair if needed to. And just the veterans fly for free. The guardians and volunteers have to pay their way. We're doing fundraisers to help some of the people that really want to go. So if they have a family member, they said don't bring the spouse, because then the veteran's going to pay more attention to the spouse. So this is a time to honor them.
Right.
Plus, at this age, average Vietnam veteran is 82, and the Korean War II obviously going to be in the 90s. So your spouse probably is going to be in bad shape too, and you're going to tie up two people that will need
assistance,
some help.
Yeah.
But we do have sons, grandsons, granddaughters, nieces, nephews, that type family members going with them. So they have to pay their way. If there's somebody like that really wants to go with Uncle Joe or his grandfather, they don't have quite the funds. We have some scholarship type things set up to help them out, so they can go. We don't want to deny anybody because of money situations. So trying to make it, like I said, free for the veterans and the guardians,
a little more affordable for the guardians.
Yeah. So we're trying to help them out.
So this Saturday, Sweat4Vets Ruck March, that's going to be a way to raise donations for the Wiregrass Honor Flight.
Right. And just let people know more about it. You hope to get some sign up, some veterans and some guardians and volunteers to sign up. We'll have the computer there. And so Miss Judy will be there and be able to get you signed up. And or if you want to just take the form with you, think about it and talk to somebody. You might know somebody that back home or a neighbor that might want to do it. So you can take a form to them, get them to sign up. And we've had that before when we did the other one, the other Ruck March. We had several people sign up and for the guardians and veterans. So it's just a good way to get out, let people know what we're doing. And then the other, I've got mental health setting up a tent there. A couple of those groups, veterans organizations are setting up other tables to let people know about them. So it's a way just to be involved more in the veteran community, the military community, and around Fort Novacell, or as old timers call it, Fort Rucker. It's just a way to get even more involved. You're going to be involved a little bit because just about everybody around here has some connection with the military. So it's a way to get even more involved. A lot of it you don't see, but it's like, okay, I can do some extra. And here's a way to find out how.
Yeah. So this Saturday, what time does it start again?
Okay, registration at 7 o'clock. They're doing some pre-registration the night before. If you've already signed up online, you can go to the page, like I said, to websites, Run Sign Up, like you can walk or run, runsignup.com, and then click race and hit 2025 Sweat, the number 4 Vets Ruck March, or go to Facebook with Sweat4Vets Ruck March and have a link there. Or you can go to wiregrasshonorflight.com, and I'll put a link on there for it too.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Mr. Travis, for coming in and letting us know about this event that's going to be sponsoring or helping to sponsor a very, very good cause.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.